The Chains We Choose is the 9th video in the series, Why South Africa is Getting Poorer. There are chains that no law can see, no prison can hold yet. They bind tighter than steel. They are the chains we choose: racism, exclusion, nepotism, and entitlement. Chains inherited from a broken past, worn proudly by those too blind to see their weight. My fellow South Africans, we are a people of paradox. We have conquered the visible enemy, apartheid's laws, its fences, its whites-only signs. But the invisible enemy remains, living quietly in how we treat one another, how we hire, how we trust, how we see. Apartheid did not simply divide our land, it divided our souls. For nearly 50 years, it told one child they were destined to rule and another that they were born to serve. It built cities of comfort for some and fields of hunger for others. Then came 1994, a year baptized in hope. The rainbow flag rose high. Madiba's voice echoed, "Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will experience the oppression of one by another." But hope alone cannot rewrite hearts. The chains of division are stubborn things, invisible but inherited. A child born in privilege learns, without being taught, that power feels familiar. A child born in struggle learns, without being told, that opportunity belongs to others. And thus, even without the old signs, the segregation continues, in schools, in boardrooms, in mindsets. We have policies: broad-based Black economic empowerment, affirmative action, employment equity. We have a constitution envied across the world. But we also have a nation still addicted to hierarchy, the hierarchy of color, of language, of surname, of connection. We speak of equality while practicing exclusion. We preach merit but reward belonging. We quote Ubuntu, yet deny others the dignity of opportunity. Nepotism has become the new apartheid. You are not judged by your skill, but by your surname. Jobs meant to uplift the poor become favors for the connected. Government contracts turn into family inheritances. And in the private sector, racism hides behind the polished smile of cultural fit. Our people have learned that in South Africa, justice is negotiable and privilege is renewable. Let's speak plainly. Every act of exclusion is not just a moral wound, it's an economic disaster. Racism is expensive. Nepotism is inefficient. Bigotry is bad for business. When you deny opportunity based on race, you waste talent. When you promote based on connection, you reward mediocrity. When you hire your cousin instead of the qualified candidate, you build an empire of incompetence. And when the economy slows, when unemployment rises, when corruption bleeds billions, we blame the system, the state, the other race. But sometimes, the system is simply a mirror reflecting our collective decay. South Africa loses tens of billions of rand every year to corruption, favoritism, and inefficiency. Not because we lack resources, but because we lack integrity. Because we continue to believe that us versus them is a sustainable economy. Entitlement wears many masks. There is the entitlement of those who still believe privilege is their birthright, who see diversity as charity and equality as theft. And then there is the entitlement of the wounded, those who believe that pain alone qualifies them for power. Both are dangerous. Both are excuses to avoid accountability. To the privileged, entitlement says, "You built this, so you deserve it forever." To the oppressed, entitlement whispers, "You suffered, so the world owes you now." But the truth is, the world owes none of us anything. What we owe each other is fairness, not favoritism, empathy, not vengeance, excellence, not excuses. We cannot build a future on perpetual repayment of pain. We must build it on partnership. Our greatest tragedy is not only poverty or unemployment, it's mistrust. A society where people no longer believe in fairness will eventually stop trying. When a student believes race determines success, why study? When a worker believes corruption determines promotion, why strive? When a citizen believes justice is for sale, why obey? This mistrust spreads like a virus, quietly but fatally. It kills innovation. It murders initiative. It poisons national pride. And as we tear one another down, foreign investors watch. Tourists choose other destinations. Graduates emigrate. And the brain drain becomes a river, carrying away what remains of our potential. We are bleeding brilliance because we cannot stop bleeding bitterness. Even in our houses of worship, the chain persists. Some invoke God to justify prejudice. Others use religion as a tool for exclusion, believing holiness belongs to one color, one class, one faith. Yet every holy book teaches humility, justice, mercy. To use religion as a weapon of entitlement is to betray the very divinity we claim to serve. Let us not pretend superiority is sacred. It is sin. Whether racial, religious, or political, it blinds us to our shared humanity. Apartheid did not only segregate land, it colonized thought. It told us who was smart, who was beautiful, who was trustworthy. Today, too many South Africans still think through those borrowed lenses. Black success is called nepotism. Colored success is called rare exception. A white success story is called white privilege. Each accusation becomes a brick in the wall that separates us. We have become architects of the very prisons we inherited. Silence is not neutrality, it is consent. When good people stay quiet about injustice, injustice learns to speak louder. We whisper about racism at home but smile at work. We complain about nepotism in government but practice it in our families. We condemn corruption but understand it when it benefits us. In doing so, we confirm that morality in South Africa is situational, and a nation without moral consistency cannot progress, only pretend. Remember the word Ubuntu. It is not a slogan, it is a science of the soul. I am because you are. It means my humanity exists only when I recognize yours. But today, Ubuntu has been replaced by us first. Political parties divide, communities retreat, privilege defends itself. We speak of unity, but we live in fortresses of fear and class. How can a rainbow shine when each color hides from the other? To heal, we must begin with honesty. We must admit that bigotry isn't a black, brown, or white problem. It is a South African problem. That exclusion is not tradition, it is theft. Healing begins when accountability becomes fashionable again. When excellence becomes our new entitlement. When the moral currency of our nation is restored. Each of us holds a piece of this repair. The employer who chooses fairness over familiarity. The politician who serves people, not party. The parent who raises a child to see color as culture, not as class. The citizen who speaks truth even when it's uncomfortable. This is how nations rebuild, not by policy alone, but by conscience. So, my brothers and sisters, we must choose what kind of South Africans we want to be. Will we be the generation that repeats the pattern, or the one that finally breaks it? Will we cling to inherited hate, or rise into the responsibility of healing? Let us not wait for another leader, another law, another miracle. Let us become the miracle. Because the true revolution is not fought with guns or slogans, it is fought in the quiet decisions of ordinary people, choosing fairness over comfort. When you give a fair chance, you are dismantling apartheid. When you refuse to bribe, you are cleansing the economy. When you hire by merit, you are rebuilding the nation. When you forgive but remain firm, you are walking Madiba's road. Imagine a South Africa where race no longer predicts success, where a child in a village dreams as boldly as a child in a suburb, where opportunity is not inherited but earned, where kindness, not color, defines community. This is not naive, It is necessary, because every nation pays the price of its prejudice, and we, South Africans, have paid too long. Let us write a new story, one not titled "The Chains We Choose," but "The Freedom We Earned." Let history remember that when others divided, we united. That when others clung to pain, we chose progress. That when others gave up, we rose. We are the generation that must decide whether to remain prisoners of history or authors of destiny. For though apartheid may have ended on paper, its ghost still walks among us, not in the streets but in our choices. And so, South Africa, the question remains, will we keep feeding the ghost of poverty or finally set our souls free for prosperity? Please like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe.